Hello guys, thank you very much for joining in. Hi, this is Ganesh Naik. I help finance students and professionals to excel in their career and become a better version of themselves. And today I'm back with one video, okay, where one of the student is going to share his journey of clearing the FRM Level 1 November 2021. And his name is Anmol. And primarily, uh, before we start the discussion or the point of the journey coverage, okay, I'd like to highlight that he's not my student. He has not purchased any video or any live sessions from me, but he has seen my crash course lectures online, and that's where we got connected. And we thought, let's do a session and which will help all the other students to prepare for the exam. And that's the intention of all of these interview that I'm conducting. That who are preparing on their own or who need assistance, they should be able to watch how other people are preparing. Okay, so with this, we'll start with the discussion. So Anmol, thank you very much for taking out time, and I really appreciate it. And this your sharing of journey is going to be very interesting, and and thank you very much for being a part of this, first of all. But for the
Thank you, sir.
audience,
Thank you for inviting.
before we start the discussion, what were you doing when you decided to go for FR?
So, sir, basically, I'm a civil engineer. I did my engineering in 2019 from Manipal Institute of Technology, and then worked for some time. And I was working with Deloitte for close to 2 years,
Okay.
Deloitte India, and in operational risk. So that is when I decided to take up the FRM. I registered for it in 2020 itself, and for May 2021 exam. But then due to COVID, that did not happen, and then it got shifted to November 21.
Okay. Now, when you decided to go for FRM, was there any particular reason you had in your mind that okay, I want to do FRM because I want to go to this field or that field? Any particular reason?
So actually, I was already working with in operational risk, and that there was like around more than 1 year. It was that I had already been working. I had this interest in finance. I wanted to go in finance, and currently I'm pursuing my MBA finance also. So I always had this. I always had this intention to learn more about risk in the financial field. So that is how I took up FRM. I got to know. And then
so when you registered, you had not started the MBA.
No.
Okay. Now, when you picked up the book first time, because you had a background of civil engineering, so did you face out of those 4 books, okay, which book you thought that okay, this is going to be easy for me, or this book is going to be slightly tough for me? What was your analysis at the start?
So I think when I took up FRM, everything was new to me, right from introduction to risk. And then the last 2 books, I did not understand what the headings only meant. So it was really new for me. But the only thing that I backed up was that quant was something that I thought that it might be easy for me. Although there were very less things that I already had covered, only the probability and stat stuff. Everything else was new, but the pickup speed, I thought it would be better, and it eventually turned out to be better in quant.
Okay, and you did your entire preparation on your own, self-study, right?
Yeah.
So
on my own.
So the book that you were referring for, which book were you using?
So I did Schweizer notes, totally Schweizer notes. I did not go anywhere else. The questions also, the Schweizer questions itself, and the practice papers that come with Schweizer's 2 practice papers that.
So you were able to do that. You did not solve any analyst prep or BT by any chance?
So basically what happened was when I originally registered for May 2021, I was not prepared then. And it was very beneficial for me that the exams got postponed because I was not prepared. And after that, my MBA journey took off and everything. So I had very little time to prepare, honestly, for this exam also. I started my preparation in October for November 2021 exam, and I did not have much time for it. So there were resources available, analyst prep, and then all other resources that are there for question bank also. Yeah, but I did not have much time, and I stayed focused only on Schweizer, and I got
Now throughout, so from your start till May 2021, did you complete one reading of the Schweizer?
No. So I started properly. So till October 2021, I was scattered. I had some little I had studied from Schweizer, but then it was on and off always. So it was not in a very directional way. So basically there I was looking for a direction in that, because only 1.5 months was left, and I knew this time I had to go through somehow.
Yes.
So I was looking for a direction, like very badly. I wanted to have one focal study, and then I got to know your course on YouTube, and that
Okay.
is how I started my preparation
So
like that.
you watched the video in the same order, in the sense, first book, second book, third book, and fourth book. There was no
No,
change
no,
as
no, no,
such.
no. No,
Okay.
no. So I started with third and fourth book.
Acha.
Uh,
Okay.
I saw your videos where you always told that third and fourth, anyways, they had higher weightage also. But then I also felt that was difficult for me. It will take time for me to grasp it. So
Okay.
I tried to cover that first.
Okay. Okay. And so primarily, if I tell you from 1st of October when you started preparing, so how much time you were giving for the exam? And I'm assuming that before that, obviously you had forgotten because you had so much gap.
Yes,
Is
yes,
that
yes.
correct? Okay.
Correct, correct.
So when you picked up your book from 1st of October, how much time you were dedicating?
So it was like I started off with 3 to 4 hours, because that is how things I got to know. I watched your videos and then used to study with Schweizer. But then as the exam approached, I increased that to 5 hours, 6 hours, and then at
Okay.
last took. So I wanted to complete the full syllabus. The only thing in my mind was that I knew that I had limitations on the question banks and everything,
Right.
but I just wanted to complete one reading, so that on the day when I am appearing, I have something in mind to approach the question in a right way.
Okay. At least you have some basic idea about the
Yes.
concept. Okay.
Yes.
So when you started from 1st of October, when did you completed the entire reading of the content?
I
Once.
did on around 10th November around. I was done.
Okay. So it
10th to
was around
15th
40
November.
days, 40 days of proper preparation. So when you were so 40 days, so on an average 2 chapters a day,
Correct.
right? Were you facing any difficulty in the sense? I'm asking you this question explicitly because you had no finance background as such. Only you had started your MBA, and in the first year of MBA, there's nothing related to finance. It's more or less general, right? So, were you facing any issue during that period?
So I think when I started from book 3 and 4, I faced genuine difficulties, because derivatives and all were everything new for me. But then what I realized was, once I did the basics of derivatives and I started to enjoy it. So the chapters that came further for exotic options and all so I was very comfortable, and I was good. I was enjoying that. I faced
Okay.
difficulty in some of the fixed income chapters, if I tell you. Those were bond related and that. But then also I was confident in the numerical part. I would handle all the formula part, and if there is any numerical, I would handle. Only the conceptual part, there may be some difficulty that I might face.
Okay. And what about book two?
Book two, in the MBA finance itself, there was a bit of introduction to regression and hypothesis. I got a boost up there, and then I did book two very fast. I completed that in 8 to 10 days, 8 days maximum. I completed that, and I was very good with the
Confident
book
on
two.
that
That
part. Right.
confident, yeah, I
And
was
what
good.
about book one? Any thoughts on that?
So book one, I think, so I approached book one at the end after 3, 4, and 2. So by that, I felt many of the content was already covered in the other books, but some of the contents, like the case study chapter, disaster management, that chapter, that was, I think, something that was very important also from the exam point of view, and that was something new. That was one of the things that I took seriously in book two.
Right. Now, after 10th of November, when was your exam date?
Mine was 26th.
So what were you doing in
November.
that last 16 days?
So actually my college exams came in between. So that were also fully taken up by from 12th to 24th. Actually, I had my college exams. So my intention was only to cover the syllabus before they start. And what I used to do was I used to make notes, my own notes, handy notes, 2-page, 3-page note for a chapter. So for a book or for a chapter like this, so that at the end, when I wanted to revise in this small time, small 10 10 days or 12 days, I could do it very easily and did not want to go back to the full book itself and all. So I revised there. I took my time. I solved the the practice papers that are given in GARP.
Okay.
And that is what was there.
Okay, interesting. Now, when you solved those 2 papers, you solved as a proper 4-hour paper, exam paper?
No.
Or no?
So,
okay. Okay.
So actually the schedule did not allow me. I was preparing for my end semester exams there, and then I had to manage this. So I did not, but I took the questions. I tried to do a lot of questions because these were from different chapters. So it gave me some confidence that doing mixed questions. I tried to do 50 questions or 30 questions at once, but I could not sit there for 4 hours and do as the exam.
Okay. Okay. Now, when so only 2 days before your actual exam, you had the college exam coming in.
Correct.
Now,
Correct.
In the last 2 days, what you were just revising the content, nothing else.
Nothing. So actually I was in Patna that time, and my exam center was in Delhi. So I had to travel 1 day before to Delhi itself. So I had all my notes, 5 sheets that were there. That were all I had to revise, and I bagged myself that this is all the conceptual things that are required. And if I do this again and again, so I revised 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. Like, so I was only doing that time. I kept it very simple. I did not want to go somewhere there. I completed my syllabus. That was my only aim. Completed my syllabus and then went for it.
Okay. Now, if you look at the entire journey now, so whatever is not recommended, everything was there. For example,
correct.
Starting out, you started slightly late in terms of October. No question solving, no proper mocks. Then exams in between. So you had around 10-15 days going for that. So when you entered for the exam, what was the thought process? What were you thinking?
So actually, the only thing that kept me going in this 1.5 month or even in the exam time was to believe in myself that I can still do it. I always saw your videos where you always encourage that you can always clear this in the first attempt. It is not that hard as it seems to be, but you have to be confident by yourself. I knew that I had solved less questions, but I also knew that the concepts were clear to me. When I entered the exam, so I think it was the afternoon slot that I appeared for. So 2 o'clock slot, but I entered early and they allowed us to sit early also. So 1:30 we started. So 1:30 we started. The exam was conducted very smoothly, but as it started, I came to know that it is not as numerical as we.
That was a very big change for a lot of people also.
Yes. And it was basically mostly theory. The concepts and everything. It was mostly theory, and I tried to hold myself there because I knew that numerical was my forte, but then it was not coming there. I tried to solve as many questions as possible in 1.5 to 2 hours that were there, and then taking another lap, seeing that how can it be done. And I think most of the things so when I studied, I knew that I am not solving questions, but I always studied with the mindset that how questions can be formed or these concepts can be tested there. So I think that approach helped me because because the questions that appeared that required a lot of thinking, critical thinking, that was there. Maybe it may be from any book, even from the quant book also there were questions that required critical thinking. So I think it was a different experience. And
did option elimination help you by any chance?
Very much. I think very much, because so out of the 4 options, I always used to see what can be eliminated. Most of the questions, 1 to 2 options could be eliminated easily, but then there were always two options that were very close. So even if you back on yourself, but then in the conceptual exam, you don't know at the end that is it right or not till the exam result.
And you were able to bifurcate on that 2 options and able to identify, okay, this is the final answer because I have read it in the Schweizer.
So many of the things were coming from Schweizer. I would say that I saw a lot of reviews before that. They said that the Schweizer was not that much was not enough to cover the whole syllabus. But then I could see very much questions that were there from the Schweizer book itself. So from those questions, I was able to make out. But yes, there were some questions that were confusing for me, and I was not confident when I was
So
doing
if you
the
look at the entire
answer.
100 questions, what was the bifurcation? That these questions were easy for me, or these questions were slightly tricky, or these questions were ultimately very difficult. So can you give us that rough bifurcation?
So I think out of the total questions, around 50 to 55 questions, I was sure that these are the answers. Those included numericals, very less numericals, but those included numericals, as well as the concepts that I tried to remember and I tried to apply there.
Okay.
Out of that, if I say the elimination part where I got confused between two options or three options, that were around 25 to 30. But then again, 25 to 30 questions were there which I felt that this may not be the right answer, but then I was confused. I took an educated guess, but then at the end I think it came out well.
Perfect. And did you panic during the entire exam?
So I tried not to. There were situations where I was tempted to, or I thought that this might be, but I tried not to, because anyways I knew that anything will come and I have to sit there for 4 hours and I have to do. No one else is coming to do that. So
Okay, wonderful. And when the result came in, what were the quartiles that you got?
So I got 1131.
Okay,
so first
wonderful.
quartile in 3 of the books. Yeah, and I was not. So as I told you that it was not very sure that the answers of the concepts might turn out to be right, and they turned out to be right. So that was a good result. I did not expect also that this good result would come out, as the preparation was there.
So one point for all the audience over here is that, see, a lot of people might think that this is out of luck. No, because that 1.5 month that he was reading the Swedger and he was putting the effort, he could easily connect. So if your base is very strong, if your concepts are very strong, then things will fall in place. So this is a very classic example of, see, first of all, not referring to anything else apart from Swedger. So you'll find a lot of people saying that, okay, you have to do Bionic Turtle, you have to do read only from GARP. That is not true. Okay, because if you're, see, he was studying or primarily, right, at that point in time. So if you are working, it is not even possible for you to go and read GARP. So lengthy. Okay, so you can rely on Swedger, and you have example of Anmol who is cleared the exam. So that is one part. Second, if you have not solved questions, so I don't recommend that, but if you have not solved the questions, and because of time constraint or not, still you should go on the exam confidently and give it properly. And we can see that if the concepts are clear, you should be able to clear the exam, definitely. So now when the result came in, what was the reaction of people around you, people whom you were in touch with respect to FRM preparation and all? So what was the reaction?
So I think when the results came out, my friends were really happy. Actually, I was at home only. So first I told my parents, they were happy. Actually, they saw me preparing for the last 1.5 months that way. And I did not used to get out of my room only. So they thought, they knew that something is going on there. So they were happy. And my friends, so they always used to tell me that you'll clear it. Don't worry, you'll clear it. They always used to motivate me. And then they were also very happy. They appreciated that I cleared the exam, and it was good feeling for me also. I got encouraged that it is going well.
Wonderful. I'm very happy for your success, in the sense that uh, you have to take this as a challenge. That this is a challenge in your life, that I have to complete this goal, this certification, which you have decided. Because normally in life, we go to college, we do education, and most of the time it is decided by somebody else. But these certifications, you have taken a decision that, okay, I will do it. And you have to fulfill that challenge. And it's not very difficult if you plan and prepare in a structured way. So from that perspective, I'm very happy that you have been able to clear the exam, and I'm sure you're going to clear level 2 also. And this is going to add immensely to your career in choosing the right job opportunities, the right roles, and definitely add to the community, help them in terms of understanding of risk, and sharing knowledge regarding the FRM. And that is what you're doing through this interview, right? So I'm very happy for you. And thank you very much, Anmol, for sharing your experience, your journey. This is going to be very motivating for people who are preparing on their own, or using some videos or something like that. That you need not demotivate. He started very late, but still he was able to clear the exam. So you can prepare from 1st of October also. if you do not have time. Okay. So thank you very much.
The only thing that I want to let out is that, first of all, you have to keep it simple. It is not that it is not possible for you to cover everything, that there is a lot of material available. There are different material, but then you have to know that what you are comfortable with. You have to keep it simple, and you have to be confident till the last day. You have to believe that you can do it, and that is how you will be able to clear it.
Right. Visualization makes a very big difference in terms of your result. And I've seen this for this exam also for few students who are in touch with me, my own students primarily. And when I was talking to them, okay, so always we used to talk about you're going to clear the exam, and the result was there, definitely. So wonderful, Anmol, and I'm very happy. And looking at the quartiles also, it shows that you have the concept clarity with you for the exam. So thank you very much for joining and sharing the journey.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.